boys and girls, to Auntie Nikki's 12 Days of Christmas Stories. Today's story, Christmas Every Day. There was once a girl named Emily who loved Christmas so much that she wanted it to be Christmas every day in the year. And as soon as Christmas was coming, she began to send letters to the old Christmas fairy to ask if she might have it. But the old Christmas fairy never answered any of the letters. And after a while, she gave up. Well, she almost gave up because one day she got a letter from the fairy saying she might have it Christmas every day, and then they would see about having it longer. The little girl was so excited, prepared for the old-fashioned once-a-year Christmas that was coming the next day, and surprised everybody with it as it kept coming true over and over. And then it slipped her mind altogether. She had a splendid Christmas. She went to bed early so as to let Santa Claus have a chance to fill her stocking. And in the morning, she was up the first of anybody and went and felt them and found hers all lumpy with all kind of nice things. Candies and oranges and grapes and little pocketbooks and rubber balls and all kinds of small presents. Then she looked under the Christmas tree where she looked at the large presents laid out. She had the best Christmas day. She ate so much candy that she didn't even want breakfast. And the whole afternoon the presents kept coming in and pouring in from the family. And before you knew it, she was ready for bed again. Daddy, are you going to tell me another story? No? While he was telling her, Emily fell into deep sleep. The little girl slept very heavily and she slept very late. But she was awakened at last by the other children dancing around the bed with their stockings full of presents in their hands. What is it? Said Emily as she rubbed her eyes and tried to get out of bed. It's Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! They all shouted, waving their stockings. Nonsense! It was Christmas yesterday. Her brothers and sisters just laughed. We don't know about that. But today is Christmas. It's Christmas today, and no other day. Come downstairs and you'll see. Then all at once, it flashed. Yeah! The old Christmas fairy had kept her promise and her year of Christmases was beginning. Oh my gosh, she was sleeping, but she sprang up and darted downstairs. There it was again. Her stockings filled with goodies and under the Christmas tree, all the unopened gifts. Well, there was the Christmas tree blazing away and the family picking out their presents, but everyone looking pretty sleepy and her father perfectly puzzled and her mother ready to cry. I am sure I don't know how to dispose of all these things, said her mother, and her father seemed to him that they had something like this the day before. But he supposed he must have dreamt it. This stuck in the little girl's head. It was her own private joke. And she ate so much candy, she didn't want any breakfast. And the whole afternoon, the presents just kept coming and coming from her family. And before you knew it, she was ready for bed again. It's time for another bedtime story, Daddy. And as he read to her, Emily fell back asleep into a deep sleep. Well, the next day, it was the same thing all over again. But everybody was getting vexed and cross all the time. And at the end of the week, so many people had lost their tempers. Emily started to get frightened, keeping this secret all to herself. She wanted to tell her mother, but she didn't dare. And she was ashamed to ask the old Christmas fairy to take back her gift. It seemed ungrateful, so it went on and on and on. It was Christmas carnival time. It was Christmas Easter time. Independence Day, it was Christmas. It was even Christmas on Emily's birthday. Well, after it had gone on for months and months, Emily, whenever she came into the room in the morning and she saw that big great lumpy stocking dangling with disgusting presents around everywhere. She just sit down and burst out crying. In 6 months, she was perfectly exhausted. She couldn't even cry anymore. She was tired of Christmas. By that time, people didn't even carry Christmas presents around anymore. They just flung them over the fence or in people's yards, through the window, anything. Nearly everybody had built sheds in the back of their houses to hold all the Christmas presents, because every day was Christmas. Pretty soon, all the sheds were overflowed, and then you used to just leave all the presents in the rain and wherever. Sometimes the police used to come and tell you to shovel off your presents off the sidewalk or they would arrest them. Well, by the time it was November, somehow it had leaked out who had caused all these Christmases. Emily had suffered so much that she talked about it in her sleep. And after that, hardly anybody wanted to play with her. People despised her. They couldn't take Christmas anymore, and it was because of her greediness. It happened when Emily just couldn't take it no more. She began to send letters to the Christmas fairy to please, can you just stop Christmas, please? But it didn't do any good. It was Christmas Eve again, and tomorrow was Christmas again. The little girl fell asleep, and when she woke up in the morning, she heard, how do you want it? Christmas once a year? She couldn't believe it. People were rejoicing all over the world, and she wanted to stop Christmas. It was the Christmas fairy. She had come to her and asked her if she really wanted her to stop Christmas. And she did. Emily wasn't sure if she was dreaming or if not, but she couldn't stop thanking the fairy for coming. She said, I just wanted to see you because I really wanted Christmas to stop. And she said she hoped she never ever saw Christmas again. Then the fairy frowned and asked if she was sure that is what she wanted. And the little girl said, no, I don't want Christmas ever again. It's because I was greedy. But okay, maybe like every few months. Well, okay, we should put back Christmas, okay? Once a year. Then the fairy said that was good. That's how it should be, once a year. And that is the way it has always been, ever since Christmas began. And to always remember the reason for the season. And that was a lesson that Emily always remembered as she got older. Always appreciated having only one Christmas every year. Merry Christmas.